my lovely wishes. It's Holly. Welcome to Dandelion Stitches. I come to you today completely, no makeup, nothing, not even powder, no lips, just here I am. Take it or leave it. I, as you may recall, made one of these Piecekeeper bags from the pattern that was in the Stash Buster box from Hummingbird Lane Quilt Shop. And a couple of you sent me messages and said, would you do a tutorial on that? And I had intended to make myself another one because I really like it and I've got some plans for what I'm going to put in it. So I said, sure, I will do that. I warn you that this is long. It is basically step by step. I take you with me. If you are not interested in making one of these or watching that, it's cool. It's just for those who are interested. So I'm going to skip here. We're going to go to the video of how this one was put together, and I'll see you at the end. Alrighty, as usual, as when we start a tutorial, we start with the pieces. So the pattern is called Piecekeeper, and it is a free pattern at byAnnie. So you can go to byAnnie.com, look up Piecekeeper, and print off your pattern. You know, you have to go through put it in your cart, that whole thing, but it is free, which makes it really easy for me because I don't have to keep hiding the pattern from you. I don't know is that you'll be able to get everything out of just looking at it this way, but you might want to go grab your pattern, print it off, or pull it up on your computer screen or whatever, and follow along if you so feel like it. They also have a video tutorial to make this, which, you know, her tutorials are always going to be miles better than mine. But anyway, we're going to do it anyway. So, excuse me. You're going to need the basics. You're going to need your rotary cutter, you know, your ruler. You're going to need some binder clips. If you have this cool boxed bag template, this is the time to go find it in what drawer or where you hung it when you got it and then forgot what you really needed it for, and you know, that's what I did. But I dug it out and whew, is good. It's a good thing. So also a stiletto comes in real handy. I am not yet proficient in stiletto, but it's a good thing. So let's start with the pieces that we're cutting out. You're going to need your main fabric. The main fabric is for the back of the bag. Well, we're just gonna go with it. There's no pictures for the back of the bag, and then there's a strip that goes across the front. This is this piece. This is the inside of the bag, so it shows through the mesh. And this is the other side of that band on the bottom. This is what they're calling coordinating fabric, and it is for the binding and also for the handle. These are all, I'm using all Tula pink fabrics. I don't remember from what collection, but it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, so then there's Soft and Stable. Soft and Stable, in this case, the one that I got through the Stash Buster box had 4 pieces, so I could make 4 of them from that one container of Soft and Stable. And so this is cut, and it's going to go between the inside and the outside, and we're going to quilt it. So there's that. You're going to need some fusible interfacing for inside this piece, and then for inside the handle. And then this is the mesh piece that you can kind of see through here. The cool thing about, I'm going to clear my throat, hang on. Drink, need a drink. Sorry, allergy. Door's open and I'm loving it, but you know, can't breathe. So anyway, the cool thing about shopping with byAnnie when you're making something that's got like a zipper and mesh. One of her patterns is the mesh, the elastic, the zippers. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Anyway, all come in the same color. So in this case, this is Tahiti. So I chose the Tahiti mesh. I had this color, pink and teal, I think, on hand. And then I had a zipper, and it is also Tahiti. So the zipper will match the mesh. And it's cool how she does that, because, and I will, actually I need to restock, but I will order mesh, elastic, zippers a lot. I'll do like one big order so that when I am going to do a project like this, I've got everything on hand and I can just go find it in whatever drawer I've stored it, and we're good to go. So you will need thread in your sewing machine to your choice. For the most part, I am going to use white, but when I put in my zipper, I will probably use purple. So I think that's it for now. Let's go ahead and start making us the bag. We're going to start by making a sandwich with the soft and stable in the middle. And I'm going to take a little 505 and I'm just going to toss a little on there. And it's got 505 kind of doesn't, there's not a lot of overspray. So there's that. And then this is the back. This does not have to be perfect because we're going to trim it down afterwards. And then flip her over. Also, if you do get 505 on your mat, excuse me, a little alcohol takes it right off when it doesn't damage the mat at all. And again, 505. This is the front. Do I want that on the top or the bottom? I want this on top. Okay. Now, if you don't have 505, or you don't like using it, which is absolutely fine, you can pin it. However you're comfortable adhering your fabric so that you are able to quilt it. This is going great, isn't it? Just, wow. I am such a professional. Come on. Get on there. The first one just went so well. Okay. Okay, so we have this side and we have this side. If your fabric is directional, you need to make sure that everything is going the same direction because, yeah, that's important. So I'm going to put my walking foot on my machine and I'm going to use white thread to quilt it. And I will show you a little bit of me quilting, but I'm not, it takes a while, so you know, you don't need to watch the whole thing. But I'll see you at the machine. Okay, it just occurred to me that some of you might not be familiar with a walking foot. I absolutely love it. Someday my dream is to have a machine where the walking foot is attached and all you have to do is drop it. I would love that, but that's not what I got right now. So we are going to, so you just remove the shank and the foot. Put it someplace where you know where it is to get it the next time. And then you, sorry, my hand is in the way. This part goes at the top above the needle, and it's going to follow the needle up and down, up and down. So when you get it on there, you just got to make sure that it's, so I can get the camera down. See how it's sitting? Clunk, not anymore. See how it's sitting right above the, this is the needle, and this thing sits right above it. So we're just gonna get it on there. screw on the screw. Take your little screwdriver and give it a little bit of a bump because, you know, I'm not really strong enough to get it on there as tight as it needs to. But ta-da, we've got a walking foot. And for quilting, well, quilting anything, but for quilting using soft and stable, that walking foot is your friend. So I need to move the camera a little bit. All right, I am just going to do this in straight lines. The last time I did it, it was diagonal. But this time I'm just going to do straight lines. And I'm just going to follow. Usually try to start in the middle. And I'm just going to follow these flowers lines straight down. When you are quilting and when you are choosing to do straight line quilting or any kind, no, straight line quilting, if your fabric has got anything on it that you can use to follow, boy, use it. Just like in this case, I can just follow these flowers straight down. That's good. So, okay, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to keep on doing that until I've got the whole thing quilted. Alrighty, so quilting is done. I shook things up a little bit. I did 2 together and then skipped 1, and then 2 together, skipped 1. So it's got a little more personality. So now we're going to trim it. And so we're going to trim it to 11 by 16. And then we're going to sew all the way around the outside of the trimmed edge. So let's see. Sorry, dude. All right, so I'm going to take this to the machine. I am going to stitch all the way around the outside, and then I'm going to set it aside, and we're going to move on to putting together some pieces. They call it preparing the components. Alrighty, so we're all quilted and trimmed, and it looks good. And now we're just going to set this aside. And we are to the portion that says prepare components. Annie likes to do this, get everything ready so that when you get to the part where you're going to do binding, you've already got all of your binding set to go. And that's cool. So all of these are 1/4 inch seams, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So you're going to take your piece that's going to be your binding, and I know you're probably thinking that's not big enough to be the binding, but it is. And there will even be a little left over. So you are going to cut it in half. We'll do it this way. On the diagonal, just like you were going to make a half square triangle or some such other triangular thing. If you want to draw a line down it, that's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a zip. Slide on up there, ruler. Okay. Close your blade. Now we're going to take one of the triangles and lay it so that it's the point of the top point of the triangle is down here on the left hand corner. And then you're going to take on the other part of the triangle and lay it on it like so. So it looks like a flag, you know, with the points. And then we're gonna stitch down this seam. I'm gonna go do that and I'll be back. I also need to take the, this is a good time to take the walking foot off of your machine. So I'll be back. Okay, so now we have this parallelogram and I pressed the seam open, which is kind of important. It'll just make your life easier later. If you didn't do it, it's okay, but it will make your life easier later. So now we're going to cut 2 1/4 inch strips off of this here parallelogram. 1, 2 1/4. Pin. So now we're going to take them and we're going to sew them all together. I'm going to make sure their right sides are together and they're going to go like this. Okay, so now we have this nice long piece of bias and we're going to fold it in half. We're going to take pins and we're going to put a pin in it every, I think it says every 3 or 4 inches. Let me check it to be sure. 3 to 4 inches. Oh, something right. I said something right. Do not press it. This is my first, when I did the other one, was my first time to not press it. And she's right. You get a much better binding when it is not pressed. It's much easier, goes around curves better, is a good idea. So you just keep putting a pin in there until you've got the whole thing pinned up, and then you put it aside. Now, if you come to one of the spaces where you sewed it together and it did not, so you've got like something big sticking up here, either rip it out and do it again or trim it, because that extra piece of bulk there, when you go to put on the binding, is going to give you a little trouble. So best to get it cleaned up before you carry on. So I shall be back. All right, next up is the handle. So we're going to take your handle piece. In my case, it's the same on both sides, but you're going to do right sides down. Take the fusible web and just lay it on there and take your iron and fuse it down. Okay, so you don't need to like move your iron all around. I usually just lay the iron in a spot. I maybe count to 6. Keep on going. Okay, so now we're gonna take the same piece, and it's gonna be a little toasty, so let it cool for a second if it is very hot, and we're gonna press it in half. And we're going to take each side and fold it in again. Whew, it's a little hot. I have my iron turned up just a hair too high. Same thing on the other side. like a nice little envelope. And then you can throw a couple binder clips in this if it will make you feel better that it's not going to come undone while you sew it. But I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to sew all the way down one side, across, all the way down the other side, across. So you're sewing all around the whole thing.
Two hours later.
Well, that went 100 times wrong. This is putting in the zipper part 2. Oh boy. Okay, so new zipper, new mesh. I'm glad you didn't have to see that. That was just ugly. Just ugly. But we're going to make it work this time. So we're going to take the zipper. I have a new white zipper, which might make it somewhat easier for you to see. And we're going to put it upside down with the zipper pull to the left. And now we're going to put the mesh above that. This time, where am I? Okay, so as you are putting on the mesh onto the zipper, I'm going to take a little bit of this zipper off here. It says to leave it hanging off both ends, so maybe an inch or so. So as you take your binder clips and you put them on, try to keep the edge of the mesh down from the zipper head. No, the zipper tape, the edge of the tape, so that eventually you're going to fold it over this way and you won't be able to see it anymore. So it kind of encloses, when we're all finished, it encloses that mesh in a little zipper tube. And it makes for a nice clean zipper attachment. This mesh can and will stretch on you. I wish that were not true, but it does. Don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. That's all you can do. You might at some points get a little bit of a bumpy spot, but it's going to be okay in the end. All right, we're going to go over to the machine and we're going to stitch the zipper on. Okay, so I know that for quilters, when you say, we're going to just put a zipper in this, your first response is, oh, do we have to? Couldn't we just do it without the zipper? But nope, we're going to put a zipper in and it's going to be okay. So we're just going to start at the end. I've got my zipper foot on, and okay, we're getting really close to the zipper head. You can see it, it's right there. So you're just gonna leave the presser foot down. You're gonna lift it up your presser foot. No, leave the needle down, lift the presser foot, and move that zipper head. It says here. This one is so darn big. Past your needle. A little bit harder. Try not to take it off the end. Then drop the zipper foot again. And keep on. Okay. Zipper's in. So now we're going to fold the zipper over towards the front of the bag. And as you can see, those little mesh ends are now going to be covered up by that zipper. And I'm going to try to stitch as close to the edge of the zipper as I can. And yes, there's purple thread, and I probably should have switched it to white, but this way at least you can see what I'm doing. So a little too close. Alrighty. Come on, you know you want to do it. There we go. And as you're going with your right hand, just kind of keep moving the mesh away from the zipper. Like, you don't need to pull it, but just don't let it get caught up in the zipper or the seam. Okay, this is probably a good time to move the zipper pull out of the way. So again, the needle is down, press your foot up, move that past, press your foot down, and keep on going to the end. Okay, sewing a straight line has never been, shall we say, my best thing. So it's a little wonky, but if you had used white thread, you would not even see it. So that's it. Zipper's installed. We're good to go. My battery is about to die, so I think I need a break.
1 hour later.
All right, new day, new batteries loaded up in my camera, and it's time to go again. So the first thing we're going to do with this misshapen mess, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Is trim it to 8.5 inches. I have taken my wonky mesh pocket and I have trimmed it from the top of the zipper tape down to the bottom to 8.5 inches. And now we are going to attach the bottom, this part. So we're going to turn it around so the edge is up there. And with right sides together, align the top. Okay, so this is the top. For me, this will be the top. And because it is directional, I have to make sure that the way I lay it after it's sewn is going to be not owls on their heads. So I'm going to take this one and lay it here. And then we are going to make a sandwich. And put it in the back. So we've got the lining, we've got the mesh, and we have the front pocket. And once again, my clips are on the other side of the machine. Whoop. I'm forever bumping something. Now, it's possible that they're not exactly the same width because I stretched it out. So I'm just going to kind of get it in the middle. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Trying to decide if I want to go to see the Taylor Swift movie. I like Taylor Swift. I like her music. I like that she's... This makes me sound like I'm 100 years old. It seems like she's a nice girl. I like that about her. Okay. So I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to stitch across this top part, 1/4 inch seam, and then we're going to fold it out. I don't know if it says to press it. Yep, it does. Okay. So to make sure the iron's on, I'm going to just go quickly sew this, and then we'll go to the iron together. I have attached the bottom piece. I have, and this is the back, this is the front. I have pressed it, being careful not to get the iron too close to the mesh so that it does not melt. Don't worry too much about it, but it can. And then I have top stitched just along the edge there. So we are ready, I believe, to attach it to the actual bag or the back front portion. So make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. Okay. So this is, for me, this is the right side and this is the back because this is the part that will show the most. So with the inside part or the front facing up, we're just gonna, and there's going to be some trimming necessary, just so be prepared. We're going to line everything up to its best, so it's looking good, and we're going to take binder clips and bind it all the way around because we're going to go and stitch it all the way around. So first thing I'm going to do is clip the zipper because it's warped. You know, I tell you guys not to be afraid of a zipper, and then I do a project where I mess up the zipper. Tell you. It's a good thing you're not spending your hard-earned money for this. Make sure that your zipper pull is away from the edge. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to flip it over. This is not in the pattern, but I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to see just how much too big the pocket is. I don't know why this happens, but it does. It happened the same way at the last one. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and just kind of trim. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of trim off that edge. And then I'm going to go ahead with my clips here and clip that trimmed edge. And you can see that the zipper's kind of doing this, so I'm just sort of manipulating it around until it's the way I want it to be. Okay, then I'm gonna go over here to the other side and I'm gonna do the same thing. Then grab your clips and clip this side. And then the bottom. Trim excess zipper tape and mesh on the sides, even with the edges. This piece is now called the bag body. I think that might be a good name for my body. It's the bag body. Okay, so now we're going to sew through all the layers. Turn off the iron. I think I'm gonna go from this side since it still could use a little trimming. So I'm gonna use the back side to do this. Whoops. All right, we have the bag body and it has been stitched all the way around the outside. For the most part, lumpy zipper is less lumpy. Don't love this zipper, but it's okay. Once you get stuff in it, it's okay. So now we are going to flip it over and get your handle. And we are going to mark from the edge of each side 5 inches. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can put a pin, you can make a mark, you can, whatever works for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right in that poor owl's eyeball. So then we're going to take, they're over here again. Just gonna be right back here. Jeez. Okay, so you're going to take the edge of the handle and lay it with the outside of the handle against that mark that you made. And clip it, pin it, whatever makes you happy. And then you're going to twist this around and do the same thing on this side up against that marker. Okay. Make sure that it's not twisted. Everything looks good. And we're going to go to the machine and just stitch this back and forth so that these stay stuck. So it looks like this. I went back and forth 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just to make sure that it's staying put. Okay, here's where it gets, it's the handle, duh. She is the brightest bulb on the tree. What did I do with it? There it is. Okay. So now if you've got one of these, this is the time to get it out. I'm going to flip it over this way because it's a little bit easier to see. And it asks us to round the corners. We're on the home stretch now. So you're going to round all 4 corners. If you do not have a nifty thing like this, a cup works. And anything that's, you can do this and like use your marker or any round. It suggests any 2.5 inch circular object. Well, I don't know what 2.5 circular object I've done it before, but now I have this nifty boxed bottom thing, and I'm going to start with the bottom ones because then I'm not messing with the handle. So we're just going to align the edge of the ruler with the it's the bottom here, and then over here, and then you just take your rotary cutter. Sure. Might be time for a new blade. There we go. There's one. And you're just going to do this to all 4. Okay, now we have all of this, and I'm going to go back to the machine and I'm just going to stitch over these places that I just trimmed. If you're getting tired or you need a drink or whatever, now is a really good time to go do that, because we're going to bind. That will be our last thing, but you know, get ready for it. Okie dokie, find your binding. Wherever you put it, find it. And then we're going to flip this over so that you're working on the wrong side. Well, it's the right side. It's confusing, but yeah. So I usually like to start in the middle of the bottom, but it's just my preference. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. Okay. So I usually leave about 6 inches of tail and just start pinning it up against the edge, or use your binder clips, whichever. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And then you just keep on doing this. And when you get to the curvy corners, you just do your best to work the fabric around that corner, that curvy little edge. And yeah, I just changed my mind from pins to binder clips. And you just keep doing that until it's done all the way around. Okay, here we are. The majority of it is all pinned all the way around. And I, as you can see, I use quite a many of them. All I do here, I'm going to just go ahead and switch out these pins. All I do here is fold this down. I hope you're seeing this. I fold it down till it's even, you know, this part is even, and then I fold it again so that you've got a nice edge here to insert the other side. So for right now, I'm just going to stick a pin there, and then I'm going to get a pair of scissors. And lay it out here so that you can see how far it's going down. And I usually maybe 2 inches, not too far, just, and then just snip that off. You've got extra. And then just slip it into that little folded pocket. And then put another couple of binder clips in there. This will allow the binding to move a little as you are folding it to the other side. If I sewed it here and you know, made it a really tight connection, it might pull when I turn it over to the other side and stitch it. So that this is what's happening. So we're gonna go to the sewing machine, and I'm gonna take you with me. Alrighty then. There it is. Okay. So we're just gonna slide it in there, 1/4 inch seam. So I'm just gonna follow my 1/4 inch seam line here. I'm not gonna put on my 1/4 inch foot. That would be fine, but. And here we go. Just easing in that. Sorry, conversation necessary. Husband apologizes. It's all good. It has to do with the secret. My exciting thing happening. Okay, when you get to the curves, sometimes you've got excess fabric. You know, sometimes you've pulled the fabric as you've gone. Just do your best. That's all I can tell you, is just... And I think something went haywire. Did I run out of bobbin? No. Okay. Technical difficulties. I'll be right back. All right, we're back in business. A little bit of sewing, I don't know, advice. Don't let having to rip something out become this mountain in your head. Like, oh no, I can't rip. It just, there's nothing wrong with having to rip something out. And it's really good practice to know how to rip something out. And there are just going to be times where you have to, you know, you just can't fudge it. You got to rip it out. So, and this was one of them. I had to rip it out. So just let it be another part of the sewing experience. It's not difficult. Yeah, it's, you know, you'd rather not have to do it, but sometimes you just gotta. One eternity later, we might finally get around this bag. I probably could cut a little more of this off because now I have quite a bunch. So let's see. We're going to slide it back into its little pocket. And make sure that you get all the layers in the seam. It's a miracle. But we're done. So now I'm going to go along and just make sure that I got all of the pieces in. Yes, indeed. Okay. Trying to decide if we need to go back to the other. Yeah, let's do that. We'll go back to the other. Okay, we're on the. This is it. The last bit. We can do it. Yay. Okay. So now we are going to turn the binding over to the front. Around those curves. If there's any like this kind of stuff, just go ahead and chop that. And then if you feel like you want to add a couple of binder clips, maybe in the curves or just any place else that you think you might benefit from one, just go ahead and do that. Just keep pulling it to the front. Now, in a perfect world, if I were super good at this, first of all, it would not be doing this rippling thing. And it would come across over the front exactly the same all the way around. Yeah. As I said about the one that I showed the other day, I don't believe I will ever get back together get good with binding. I just don't think it'll ever happen. I don't know, there's something about it that I just struggle. But it can be done, and we don't have to be perfectionists. We can just do it. It'll still be pretty. See, look how pretty it is. If you don't count the ugly white zipper, but it's okay. It served its purpose. Along the zipper, you just have to be careful that you don't get it too far into the zipper. You know, you want to make sure that it's not caught in the teeth. Okay, and she's ready to bind. So we're going to take her to the machine, and we're just going to top stitch all along this binding. This is the camera foot leg dance. I have to try to get my foot in there and the camera on the right. Okay, as you can maybe see here, I've got some rippling and it's all going that direction. So what I'm going to do when I top stitch it is top stitch it this way. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't, but that's what I'm going to do. So let's get her over here. That's pretty, well, maybe it's a little too close. Let's just shimmy her over a little bit. There we go. Okay. Oh, I was going to turn up my stitch. Just turn up my stitch length just a little bit. And there she is. She's done. The binding, again, not the best job ever. And because I decided I wanted to rip this corner out because I didn't like how it was laying, now it's got a double row of stitching. But, you know, sometimes a tutorial can be what not to do as much as what to do. And there's the handle. And there's the zipper. And see, you've got all kinds of room for goodness. Got another one of these. And then there's the back. Back looks quite a lot better than the front. But I hope this was helpful. You know, you got to do it like it is. It is not in any way difficult. It's just got a lot of moving pieces, and that zipper just, because it's attached to the mesh. And I have seen her do other bags where she has attached a piece of fabric to the mesh and then the zipper to the fabric, which I think might have been a better choice here. But anyway, it's done, and I'm happy. It's pretty. So that's it. Okay, it's all right to laugh. If you went through this whole thing with me, you know, I swear everything that could have gone wrong on this bag went wrong. I don't even know. I don't know what happened, but in the end, it all came out okay. I think it's a good example of trusting the process, and that sometimes you gotta fudge things around a little bit. And anyway, this is the lovely back with those beautiful owls, and the front with an ugly zipper, but you work with what you got. So I hope this was helpful to anybody who is interested in making one of these. It is a free pattern. The link will be down below. I really like them. I have what I really like about them is the size. They're really a good size, and for smaller projects, good idea. So I don't know where this video is going to fall in the calendar of what's coming up, but thanks for watching. Be well, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.